of the day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. Trade over 17,000 markets with extended trading hours on key US shares and competitive spreads, all on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.
And the stock of the day is BHP. Why? Well, that's because today we learned that BHP will abandon its takeover bid for Anglo American, or plans for a second one. It says that following discussions with Anglo, it's no longer considering a combination of the two companies. The global miner says it believes a merger would have had strategic merits and created significant value for shareholders. However, BHP is saying that it's confident in the highly compelling potential of its own organic growth strategy. If you recall, BHP originally tried to buy Anglo last year for $49 billion US. My guest, Ben Richards from Seneca Financial Solutions, and David Lane from Minnett. Ben, I'll start with you. Is BHP a buy, hold, sell, either based on this news today or where its price sits right now?
Yeah, we think BHP is a buy. We own it. There's obviously a few moving pieces with that. The Anglo takeover rumours. Anglo itself has an offer from Teck Resources on the table as well. So that probably not going to be completing in the near term. So potentially BHP might come back, despite their reinforcing that they're focusing on their organic growth pipeline. But we'll see on that front. But yeah, BHP is still largely an iron ore story. It's got the best assets in the world. But I think this deal just shows how desperate these major miners are to increase their exposure to copper. And South America particularly is an emerging investment frontier for copper, just given the scale of deposits that it holds. So BHP has already moved on Filo in a joint venture, which is another South American copper play. And there's certainly a lot of junior explorers hitting us up that are pitching copper exploration porphyry plays in Chile, which is probably not something we're overly interested in. But yeah, BHP we quite like. It's just it's the sector behemoth, and it's probably going to get a lot of flows if we do see a rotation into mining and resources, particularly from overseas markets, and just given how $40 is a good price, it trades quite cheaply here. But yeah, iron ore we quite like in the Pilbara more broadly, so BHP is one of those exposures among others. So yeah, quite like it here. It's a buy.
What do you think, David Lane? Good strategy to just now walk away from Anglo?
Well, we've seen the copper price increase by 25% over the time that they first announced that deal or potential deal, and Anglo knocked them back. It looks like Teck may well be successful in that acquisition. Although BHP have not, well, they have walked away, but they've also had a number of caveats and said, look, we may come back based on potential future discussions, but at this point in time they've walked away. We like BHP. We think that it is a good business. We do tend to forget now that it is actually the world's largest copper miner, and that is probably the bright spot in their operation at this point in time. We've seen the iron ore price hold relatively well over the last 12 months. It's been a commodity that a lot of people have been anticipating we'd see a decline, but it's held relatively well. BHP is a great business. At this level, we think that it's an accumulate recommendation. We've got a target price of $45 on it. And really, if you look at BHP over the last 5 years, it's almost a bit of a trading stock that you can buy it at $40 and sell it at $50. And it's traded pretty much between that band for quite some time. So, yeah, at around $40, we think it's reasonable value.
There you go. An accumulate and a buy for our stock of the day being BHP.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Trade over 12,000 shares and ETFs, including major tech giants with extended hours on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.